think, found a satisfactory solution. So here plotted on this graph are several things, all of which we'll use to filter our data. So this is, I just took all the stuff, all trial one, the entirety of trial one from this subject that we've been looking at. And here are the raw position of the eye data shown, of the pupil size, sorry, shown in blue. And you can see we have these two artifacts where the pupil allegedly goes down to like 0 or like 20 some odd for a few frames. And what we want to do is get rid of those. We want to create an algorithm to get rid of those. And part of that algorithm will be if the velocity or the change, this is the change, how much the pupil size changed on this trial compared to this frame compared to last frame. And it's generally 0 or 1 or sometimes 2. And so when it really is these artifacts, it jumps to a huge number like -50 or 30 or something like that. So these will easily be able to toss these frames, but there's some other frames where it persists at 0 for a few frames in a row, where the velocity is again 0. See that teeny point right there in between the two spikes, in between this spike and this spike, where the velocity is still 0? If we just based our filtering based on velocity, we would include that frame of a 0 pupil size, and we would not want that. So what we can do is have two rules. One rule will be if the velocity is above or below a certain value, we will toss it, like 3 standard deviations of the velocity. So the standard deviation is like roughly 1.7, I think, and so three of that is about 5. So any value above 5 or below -5, we'll toss that frame for the velocity. But then for these frames in between, we can now look at this and say, this point here, these points on the blue are way below this purple line. Now this purple line is, I took the average pupil size across the whole trial, and I took this, I added 3 standard deviations to that, which is the green line, and I subtracted 3 standard deviations to it. So anything that has a position that's below 3 standard deviations of the pupil size will be tossed. So we'll have 2 rules based on velocity and based on gross size. And I think that should catch everything. And we'll toss those frames of pupil size. I hope that makes sense. I will stop this video and start another one once I implement that.